So over the course of the last 5 or 6 months, I read 6 popular BookTok books. I gave full reviews of them that should all be up by now. But now I kind of want to reflect what I think I've learned by reading these books, and what I think BookTok could improve upon, specifically queer BookTok spaces can improve upon, based on the books I've read. First and foremost, I've talked about this in the past, but BookTok, specifically queer BookTok, is really bad about mismarketing books. Like, I cannot tell you how mismarketed Evelyn Hugo was. Y'all promised something completely different that was not in the book. So many people described Evelyn Hugo as like a golden age sapphic romance, when that is not what the book is. This also connects to y'all's inability to use content warnings when recommending these books, or even mentioning that there's heavy material, to the point of just straight up lying about the book. Putting that to the side, y'all very clearly have a preference for Achillean books over sapphic books. I had to actively work to make sure there were sapphic books on that list. And expanding on the lack of diversity, the vast majority of books I was seeing recommended by popular queer BookTokers are white, cis, able-bodied queer folk. That's it. Specifically queer men. And if there is a main character of color, it is disproportionately written by a white person with really awful racial stereotypes. Like, doing this series has very clearly reminded me how much of a racism problem queer BookTok has. Like, the fact that I had to weed out so many racist authors, so many authors that have said transphobic or racist things, but y'all are still recommending these books, but because I, did the bare minimum of research, I was able to weed them out of my list, is atrocious. And even then, when I tried to read out these books, I still ended up with books with racist-ass stereotypes on my list. So I think I have ultimately learned queer white BookTok has no critical thinking skills, nor do most of the biggest queer white BookTokers, that I'm never taking recommendations from quite literally any of them, and that I am very much never going to do this again. I think it speaks to something that out of the list of authors that I read, out of all the books I've read, I'm only continuing with 2 authors. Queer white BookTokers have lost their recommendation privileges, and I'm quite literally only going to listen to my mutuals and queer BookTokers of color. For those who care, right here is the ultimate series ranking. Basically anything below, like Cinderella's Dead, I would not recommend. Cinderella's Dead in Priory, I would recommend to people. Just make sure to check those content warnings. And yeah, I think I'm going to do a much different series next year to counteract the sheer whiteness of queer BookTok.